The movie begins in 1973 with a girl named Paig who is getting married. Outside, a group of people wearing strange jute masks is seen carrying a goat. They seem to be heading somewhere. Meanwhile, Paig suddenly feels unwell during her wedding. When she steps outside to vomit, she sees the group's goat and nothing else. Later, her husband, Dai comes looking for her but finds her missing. He panics and only finds a small ring of Paig's. Time passes, and in the present day, a woman is shown singing while preparing breakfast. Suddenly, she hangs herself. No one notices or checks on her, and her body hangs from the rope for days until it begins to decompose. Eventually, the rope breaks, her body falls, and people find out about her death due to the smell. Service workers come to take her body away. The woman's daughter, Shoo, is informed about the death. She becomes extremely shocked and moves into her mother's apartment with her wife, Mila. Inside the house, Shoo sees Jesus' photos and a cross, which makes her anxious and panicked. Mila tries to calm her down. Shoo then decides to go outside and smoke. That moment, she receives a message from the nursing home company, assigning her to care for an elderly woman who has memory loss and several other illnesses. The next day, Shoo heads toward the given address. To bus stop, she asks the driver about the location, but he has no idea. She asks another old man who warns her not to go there. However, seeing her determination, he eventually gives her the address. As she approaches the house, she sees a boy with a small goat staring at her strangely, which she finds unsettling. Shoo knocks on the door. An elderly lady comes to open it but urinates out of fear and runs away to hide, seemingly embarrassed. Realizing the lady's condition, Shoo breaks the window to unlock the door. She notices that the woman tries to avoid her. While searching the house, Shoo sees a strange red door with a horseshoe hanging on it. She remembers that horseshoes are believed to ward off negative energy. While lost in thought, Shoo feels someone pass behind her. It's the old lady, Paig. Due to her quick movement, Paig spills some beans. Without saying a word, Shoo starts cleaning them. Paig then asks if that's what she came to do, and Shoo confirms that she is her caretaker. They start having a normal conversation and Paig reveals her name. This confirms that she is the same girl who went missing on her wedding day. Shoo offers to help Paig bathe, but Paig refuses to let her touch her body and only asks for minor help bathing on her own. While Paig changes clothes, Shoo notices a root-like pattern on Paig's waist. Shoo tells her that she wants to make a call and then sleep. Paig points to the phone and tells her she can sleep wherever she likes. Shoo first tries calling her wife, but the call doesn't go through. Just as she turns around, she receives a call from the nursing home, providing details about Paig's condition. That moment, Paig appears behind her and asks who she was talking to. When Shoo replies that it was the nursing home, Paig asks an odd question. Did she confirm it was really the nursing home? Shoo, confused, only nods. Shoo then takes Paig to her room to help her sleep. There, she sees Paig's family photo, including her husband. When she asks Paig what happened to him, Paig says he committed suicide. Two spend a lot of time talking. Later, Shoo tries to call her wife Mila again. After struggling to get a signal, she manages to speak for just 2 minutes and promises to return soon. While talking to Mila, Shoo stands near a large, strange tree surrounded by candles and covered with pieces of clothing. These trees are planted in places with high negativity, and people tie clothes of sick individuals to them, believing the tree absorbs the illness. In that moment, Shoo senses her mother's presence behind her, but when she turns around, no one is there. She returns inside and heads straight to the red door, trying to unlock it. When it doesn't open, she quietly goes to bathe. While bathing, she feels someone whispering in her ear, softly speaking, but there is no one inside or outside the bathroom. The whisper returns again. Shoo feels the voice is coming from Paig's room, but Paig is asleep. Suddenly, Paig begins to have a panic attack. Shoo gives her medicine to calm her. She notices Paig speaking clearly even in her sleep. Paig mutters that they love music and are drawn to it. When Shoo asks who they are, Paig says some people live beneath the house. Shoo doesn't pay much attention, thinking Paig is delusional due to her mental condition. The next day, Shoo goes out for groceries. Locals ask about Paig and make fun of her, which Shoo dislikes. They say Paig never treated anyone properly. On the way back, a girl tells Shoo that Paig spent several years in a mental asylum. Later that night, Shoo decides to revisit the red room. This time, the door opens. Inside, she sees strange people wearing masks and also sees her dead mother in a bathtub. She rushes to her and grabs her hand. The mother's eyes open. Shoo screams in fear, and Mila is seen laughing nearby. Shoo wakes up. Turns out everything was a nightmare. After waking, Shoo checks on Paig, who is peacefully sleeping. But as soon as Shoo enters the room, Paig begins speaking strangely. She warns that if Shoo doesn't take care care of herself, they will take Shoo along with her. Shoo still ignores her words, thinking Paig is mentally unwell. Paig continues, saying they belong to a cult. They had taken Paig too. She starts recalling her wedding day when she vanished. It was the cult members who abducted her. When her husband found out, he tried to make a deal with them. After the deal, they marked strange symbols on Paig's waist. Shoo reveals she thought the marks were signs of her husband's abuse, but Paig denies that, saying her husband was a good man. Paig then asks Shoo if she knows what punishment means. Shoo shows her hands and says her mother used to torture her to force her into prayer. If she made a mistake, her mother burned her. Paig asks where her mother is now. Shoo replies that she hanged herself. Feeling her pain, Paig invites Shoo to sleep beside her that night. In the morning, Shoo decides to uncover the truth about the basement. She finds the key to the red door and opens it. Going down, she discovers only a storage room. There, she finds a wedding album of Paig's. In it are photos of Paig and her husband, along with many newspaper clippings attached inside the album. The newspaper clearly states that Paig disappeared on her wedding day. When she returned, her husband died shortly afterward. People believe that Paig herself caused his death. As a result, she spent several years in a mental asylum. While Shoo reads this, the lights in the storage room begin to flicker. Frightened, she tries to leave, but the front door closes by itself. She senses her mother's presence behind her. Terrified, she screams and continues trying to open the door. Eventually, it opens and she escapes. The next day, the same boy Shoo saw earlier visits the house with his goat. He asks her if she has seen his coat. When she says no, he walks away sadly. Later, a parcel arrives containing some of Shoo's mother's belongings. Seeing these items causes Shoo to panic. Her relationship with her mother was not good enough to evoke emotional feelings. Instead, she feels traumatized. Clothes in the parcel are the same ones her mother wears repeatedly in Shoo's dreams. Out of fear, Shoo throws the clothes into the furnace and burns them. This incident leads to a heated argument between Shoo and Mila. Afterward, Shoo starts to fear that she is becoming mentally unstable like Paig. She visits the store and, using Paig's description, purchases some medicines to stabilize her mental health. When she returns home, she finds a woman from the nursing center there for inspection. Paig, however, tries to chase her away, sensing danger. Shoo invites the inspector in, but Paig refuses to open the door. Shoo goes to get the spare key. Meanwhile, the woman behaves strangely, pressing herself against the door and sniffing it. By the time Shoo returns and opens the door, the woman has vanished. This deeply disturbs Shoo, making her more anxious. Now determined to understand what's happening, Shoo goes to the storage room and gathers the album containing Paig's full story. She notices something unusual. In the pile of newspaper clippings, there is also a news article about her own mother's suicide. This shocks Shoo. She starts wondering what connection exists between Paig and her own mother. As she thinks, the red basement door begins opening repeatedly. Shoo tries to shut it each time, but it refuses to stay closed. Paig appears behind her and says she knows that Shoo went into the basement. It's better if she leaves tomorrow. Shoo agrees. She decides to go home, but at the grocery store, she learns that no buses are available today. Reluctantly, she returns to Paig's house. On the other hand, Paig sees the carton that Mila had sent for Shoo. The package contains many pictures of Shoo's mother, surprising Paig. This moment, it is revealed that Shoo's mother was Paig's daughter. In simple terms, Shoo is Paig's granddaughter. Paig is equally shocked by this discovery. Meanwhile, as Shoo walks back to Paig's house through the forest, she sees the boy's goat again. She thinks about taking it along, but eventually ignores it and continues home. As soon as she arrives, Paig asks whether Shoo's mother had problems with both her legs. Surprised, Shoo asks how Paig knows since she never mentioned it. Paig replies that she knows because she is Shoo's grandmother. She explains that she had sent her daughter away years ago. When asked why she did that, Paig reveals a secret. Her husband once made a deal with the cult. The deal was that if they spared Paig's life, the first child they bore would be given to the cult. But when the child was born, Paig couldn't bear to hand over her daughter. She broke the promise and sent her child far away. However, the cult's dark energy continued to haunt the child despite the distance, eventually causing her to take her own life. For the first time, Shoo begins to believe Paig's words. She asks about the cult, and Paig explains that it is a demonic cult that worships the devil. While they talk, someone knocks at the door. Shoo sees it is the same strange woman who had previously vanished after visiting. When Shoo refuses to open the door, the woman starts threatening that she will cut her. From this, Shoo realizes she is a cult member. Terrified, Shoo goes inside and sees Paig standing at the basement door, singing. When asked asked, Paig explains she is calling them. The basement door suddenly closes. Shoo tries to open it, but it doesn't budge. After some time, the door opens and Paig emerges injured. Paig tells Shoo that because she broke the promise, the cult now wants Shoo. But Paig doesn't want her granddaughter to die. She tried to sacrifice herself in Shoo's place, but the cult rejected her. They now want Shoo as per the original deal made by Dai. Shoo panics. She decides to seek help, but finds the entire town deserted. Even the people who remain inside have locked their homes. A strange festival seems to be happening. Suddenly, a terrifying man wearing a mask appears behind Shoo, beating a drum. Two more weirdly dressed people stand beside him, both in red garments. Soon, several cult members wearing jute masks gather outside Paig's house. Frightened, Shoo runs back inside. Cult starts knocking violently at the door. Shoo sees a picture of Jesus Christ and a small red cross, which triggers memories of her trauma. She sees her mother's ghost and, in her dazed state, picks up a knife to kill herself. But before she can, Paig stabs herself instead, to save Shoo's life. This snaps Shoo out of her trance. She breaks down, grieving the loss of her grandmother. The door keeps knocking. Inside, she hears Mila's voice calling. Fearing it's a trap by the cult, Shoo doesn't open it. After the voices stop, hours pass. She opens the door and finds Mila's ring on the stairs, meaning Mila truly came there and was likely taken. Shoo realizes the cult must have abducted her wife, as they always leave a ring behind when they take someone. Determined not to give up, she decides to face the cult. She puts on a wedding dress found in the house, removes her own wedding ring, and enters the basement. But now, the basement looks entirely different. Not a storage room, but a new world. Upon entering, the cult members crown her. Then a bizarre creature with goat horns appears, the demon they worship. Blood begins to pour from Shoo's eyes upon seeing the entity. In the final scene, Mila is shown sitting outside the red door, crying and begging for her wife's return. It becomes clear that the cult never abducted Mila. The entire scheme was a trap to lure Shoo, their intended sacrifice. With this, the movie ends.